In March of 2004, a test plane mounted on a rocket carried aloft by a bomber made history at Edwards Air Force Base, east of Los Angeles.
Launch.
After release from its B-52 mothership, the small unmanned X-43 flew at the amazing speed of Mach 7, faster than any known jet aircraft has ever flown.
It was a very significant event. Some people have even gone so far as to equate it actually with the Wright brothers' flight.
When it separated from the rocket, the X-43 accelerated on its own power to Mach 7.
Mach 7 is approximately 5,000 miles per hour, so you can imagine flying New York to Los Angeles in just over a half an hour.
The NASA Dryden Flight Research Center says the scramjet-powered X-43 is capable of reaching at least Mach 10. A scramjet is a supersonic combustion ramjet. The ramjet, sometimes called the flying stovepipe, is one of the simplest engine designs ever conceived, with virtually no moving parts. It's basically a hollow tube into which fuel is injected and ignited. Unlike regular jets, there are no compressor blades inside to compress the air. In a ramjet, supersonic air is slowed down to subsonic speed inside the jet engine. But in a scramjet, the air moves through the engine at supersonic speed.
The X-43 vehicle has to endure some very extreme temperatures. The temperature along the leading edges of the vehicle, for example, are in excess of 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
The front of the X-43 and the leading edges of the tail are made of carbon-carbon, a lightweight and strong composite material that can withstand extremely high temperatures.
Carbon-carbon that we use is sort of a high-tech cousin to carbon fiber. It's the carbon itself is different. It's a much higher temperature. The bonding agent is much higher temperature. It's good to 3,000 degrees without degrading. It doesn't wear away.
Ignition.
Keeping the fuel burning inside the engine at supersonic speeds has been described as trying to keep a match lit in a hurricane.
The flame doesn't really blow out because there are areas in the engine, small areas that aren't supersonic, that allow a flame to grab hold and to sustain itself.
There's something about flying that fast that I think just captures the imagination of folks. It's just phenomenal to imagine flying that fast.
I'd say the main interest you find for the scramjet in the near term would be the military. They would like to have a missile that goes, say, Mach 5, Mach 6, 5 or 6 times the speed of sound, so it can get to a target very quickly and has a lot of range in doing that. You can do that now with a solid rocket motor, but it runs out of gas pretty quickly.
The Air Force is also interested in using scramjet propulsion for super-fast bombers that could strike anywhere in the world with amazing speed, flying more than 10 times as fast as current bombers.
There's no reason that a human couldn't pilot or be a passenger on a hypersonic airplane. Vision vehicles, as we call them, include space access vehicles to take astronauts to the space station or to orbit, and also potentially passenger vehicles, again, to take people to the other side of the world.
Some experts believe the scramjet could usher in a whole new era in aviation.
We entered the 19th century moving at 6 miles an hour, the speed of an animal-drawn vehicle. We entered the 20th century moving at 60 miles an hour, the speed of a steam locomotive. We entered the 21st century at 600 miles an hour, the speed of an intercontinental jet airliner. And if you plot this in semi-logarithmic fashion, you get a nice straight line that indicates we may well enter the next century at 6,000 miles an hour, which is precisely where you see the X-43 really pointing us and heading in that direction.